Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the surface of this very planet we call Earth. We welcome you to another exciting, explosive, earth-shattering edition of our twice weekly, I bet for this week, we shall make it twice weekly broadcast here on Radio Biafra, radiating out to the entirety of humanity from where we are stationed this very day. The time now in the blessed land of Biafra is precisely a minute past 7 p.m. in the evening. I welcome you, and as I do so, I will, of course, encourage you to welcome those who are around you. And as it is usual and customary for us, I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, because we are the only people who are listened to genuinely across the entire 24 time zones on this very planet. We are live, we are direct, and heaven is bearing us witness. Because everything we preach on this very noble platform, everything that we say must come to pass, because we are under divine instruction from heaven to preach that very gospel that Elohim has mandated for us to preach, that his kingdom may be restored upon the face of this very earth. We want to build the kingdom of heaven on this earth before we go to meet God later on. That was why Biafra was sent into Africa, that the light of creation may bathe all those who believe that Biafra should be restored. The same way it is with Israel, that all those that bless Israel will be blessed, those that curse Israel will be cursed. The same way in Africa, those that support the restoration of Biafra, they will be blessed. Everybody, every entity, every nation, everybody. If you rise up against Biafra, heaven will rise against you and you will fall. And that is why the zoo is perambulating in idiocy and stupidity. They have lost their way and they can no longer come out. That is why we ceaselessly and, should I say, relentlessly offer praise, adoration, exaltation, and glory to the Most High. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra all over the world, the largest mass movement on the face of this very earth. I am also the director of Radio Biafra, the most listened to broadcaster coming out of Africa. I am the director of Biafra Television, but above all and by the grace of the Most High God Almighty, Elohim Adonai El Shaddai, Chukwukika Biama Prumi Henine, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. We are successful at what we do because we are scrupulously clean, unblemished. We are as successful as we are today because God in heaven is with us. We are as exceptional as we are today because unlike any other, we remain whiter than white and whiter than snow, unblemished. We don't steal, we don't gossip, we are not traitors, we don't backstab. Our focus is on the restoration of the kingdom of heaven upon the face of this very earth, and that is Biafra, and that's what we're here to do. And that is what we are determined to accomplish this very year, or the zoo will sink. I said this year, or the zoo will sink, so that they understand how serious we are, because this nonsense can no longer continue. I welcome you. We are simulcasting on a whole range of platforms. because we know that as night follows day, that Facebook will mess up. And somebody quite rightly reminded me that should Facebook mess up again, especially when I am on a crest of actually imparting knowledge to our people, that I must also return to that very topic. Because he quite sensibly observed that I am always in the habit of deviating away from the point that I was making prior to the rude interruption of those that work for Facebook in Nigeria. I do not expect this evening to be an exception. I expect them to attack us, but we are now very sensible. Because this very broadcast you're listening to, if you want to listen and of course to see all the visuals and the graphics, the pictures, the comments and the videos, you must go to my page, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, on Facebook. I have, I think, roughly about 300,000 likes, because they will not show the amount of followers that I have, because the people following me are greater than those who've actually liked my page. And because of that, the Yorubas that work for Facebook, they prefer to show the lower number. All the same, it is about 300,000 people. There are other ones opened up by DSS. Please do not go to those ones. They will capture your details, they will capture your data, and they'll start hunting you down without us knowing. You must always, every blessed day, go to my page at Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. We are there live and direct. We are also live on Radio Biafra page. Radio Biafra page, a whole host of people are also hosting watch parties. As a matter of fact, we are on Radio Biafra app, and I'm also glad to announce that Iguacha has been restored. Our mega station in Iguacha is now functioning. I was told reliably before we came on air. I can also tell you that Radio Biafra app is up and running and very clear. We are on satellite. I will encourage those who can afford it, right across the entire damnable Zoological Republic, including Biafra land, to please go and get yourself a strong decoder. Strong, we are on satellite. Radio Biafra can be received on satellite the same way that you receive Channels TV and all the other Lagos Ibadan Expressway Gota Media. We are on satellite. Please, this is something people need to know. And the dish and the decoder doesn't cost more than 7,000 naira only. With 7,000 naira only and some fuel in your generator, you should be able to listen to Radio Biafra as regularly as you would like to. Very, very important. We are also on a whole host of other applications as well. We are on Garden Radio, as you well know. We are on Tuning. We are on Sweet Radio. We are also on Simple Radio. If you go to any of these places and say, how can I listen to Radio Biafra? They will take you to one of our platforms. And also there are those who are streaming live on YouTube as well. Uninterrupted, I must say. But for those who are on my page, they are the very stubborn ones like me. They must stay. That is where the hardcores are. Those who are giving our enemies sleepless nights. Facebook will do all they can, but we are Biafrans, we are IPOB, we always prevail. We always win. In the end, we always win. As I said from the beginning when we started this very movement, in the end, we always win. Let me very quickly give praise and adoration to the Most High, without whom we would not be here today. I am a very religious person, very deeply religious man, as some of you may have gathered, but my own religiosity does not come with stupidity. It doesn't. My eyes are very open. My brains are working very well, because I have the ability to discern, to know when I'm being lied to, and to also know when I'm being told the truth. Here we have chosen to speak the truth always, regardless of the consequences. That was the truth that I spoke, and they came to my house to kill me, and they killed 28 of my men. As a result of that, my parents died. I also lost my cousin, Adako, and Jack, my dog, as a result of speaking the truth. It is a very costly business, speaking the truth. But here we must speak it all the days of our lives, because that is our covenant with the Most High whom we are now going to give every praise and adoration. I will, of course, encourage you to bow down your heads wherever you are, because we are going to preach this very gospel unadulteratedly. Hey, Oyibo, I must be exact. I have to be exact. Makandiuchu, I have to be exact. Let us pray to the Most High. I will pray in English today because there are some people that told me they'll be listening from Eastern Europe, that I should try and pray in English as well so that they too can follow. And that is what I'm going to do this very evening. Please, if we may. Because the promise of Elohim to the king of Israel, David, is this: that whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will always rest in the shadow of the Almighty, and that is where IPOB is today. And that is why we are untouchable, not because we are strong, not because of anything extraordinary about us, not because we are superhuman. We occupy the preeminence we enjoy today out of thy grace, O Heavenly Father. And this evening your children are gathered all over the world to say to thee that you are our refuge and our fortress, you are our Lord and our God, and in you we repose every trust. We have no strength of our own, no strength whatsoever. Though the enemies encompass us about, you are going to save your children because your words are yea and amen. You don't retract it because you're God. Once you have spoken, it must come to pass. And your promise to our ancestors is this, that Biafra will be restored. Only if we can seek your face. And this generation of IPOB, we have sought your face. We don't worship idol. Never, ever, ever. And that is why you are piloting the affairs of this very noble movement. This IPOB that we dedicate to your grace this very evening, that you may have mercy upon us, that you may confound and confuse our enemies. As always, they will flounder. They will speak things they do not know about. They think they are slandering us, oh Heavenly Father, but they are helping in their own little blackened way to propagate your gospel. Because those we never knew before, now they know us as a result of the work of our enemies. We give you praise and adoration. We honor thee and we bow before thee. We ask thee to come and take control, to come and take charge of our proceedings this evening. Because you said you will cover us. With your feathers, O Heavenly Father, and under your wings shall we take refuge. Today we proclaim that this very IPOB, this very unstoppable movement to restore your kingdom upon the face of the earth, as you promised the ancients, we do so singing your praise, O Heavenly Father. We do so enabled by your glory that encompasses about. We do so knowing that pestilence can never strike us down in darkness, nor shall any plague, including coronavirus, destroy your handiwork. Because many will fall. Those who never believed in us before, now they believe. Those who thought that we were mad before, as a result of all our proclamations, today they now know that we are speaking the truth that you gave us to speak. That is why everything that I utter comes to pass. Every prediction, every prophecy comes to pass in the lives of men. That is why you will have mercy upon us. And that is why Biafra will come, that we may rebuild your holy temple. Restore your presence in Arochukwu as it was of old. That your blessing may dwell amongst us, and every nation will come to Biafra land to pay homage to thee. Because you are eternal. Because you are everlasting, because you are the Ancient of Days, you are the Lord of the hosts of all the heavens and beyond. You are, and only thee is the creator of the universe. That is why this evening we proudly proclaim that we have no other God apart from thee, that we shall not bow before any other God apart from thee, that this same God of Abraham and Isaac and of Jacob this same God of Eri, this same God of God that begat Eri, from which Umweri and Aguleri came from where Biafra sprang from, we shall bow before thee and give you honor and praise, adoration and exaltation, now and forevermore, we pray. He said, for a while I was in the spirit, and this evening we must preach this very gospel. I promised you, somebody reminded me, because as I said, I go through every comment on my Facebook page and those on my Twitter. If you have not joined us on Twitter, I encourage you to do so. Try and register with Twitter and then follow me the same at Mazen Namdekano on Twitter. I think I have about 153,000 followers on Twitter. Go and join us there for the speedy propagation of this divine gospel from heaven, that mankind may know that we mean business. And that is to restore Biafra, which is exactly what we are doing. Once again, I welcome you from the bottom of my heart. Sometimes we may disagree on some points, maybe around our direction, our dimension, perhaps sometimes bordering on our philosophy and our approach. And I also have noticed sometimes perhaps there are some slight, should I say, deviation from a point of convergence when it comes to issues that matter to our people, matters of spirituality. But here we must speak the truth, because we have determined, as directed by heaven, that the truth must be preached and spoken. We may disagree, sometimes to agree. I can assure you there are no ill feelings. We are preparing ourselves to run a very vibrant democracy in Biafra land. In Biafra land, there will be freedom of speech. It doesn't matter what it is. You have every right to say it. And let the majority decide and judge who is right and who is wrong. That is why we are very, very confident that our arguments are superior. Superior morning, noon, and night. It doesn't matter when you come. If you come, we'll crush you with facts and with figures. Because we are learned. We are learned. For those who may not know, that is why they say, why is it all the time? People say that this IPOB, that what? Because we are learned. Before we present any issue, before we tackle any problem, we distill it 4 times. Quadruple distillation of the facts. And in your try and comma, we see what goes into the good part, what goes into the bad part, and what is salvageable if there is any. That is who we are, and that is where we operate. We just don't come out and run with any issue. We digest it very well, so that any points we generate as a result of it is explosive and decisive, as we're going to do this evening. I thought before that we had buried the issue of some people referring, as I promised, that very Biafran who informed me. Remember, you said you're going to be nice to everybody on Wednesday, and I said yes. I'm going to be very, very nice today. I'm not going to, should I say, wake people up. I'm not going to insult anybody if you feel offended by the way that I speak. But the crux of the matter remains that the style of delivery which I have, Elohim gave to me to give, or the means through which this message ought to be delivered, it remains there. We are not going to touch it. This evening is going to be very as interactive as possible. And I will try to get somebody, please. I am not asking you to call me on WhatsApp. At the end of this very session, I will take questions on WhatsApp by text only, not calls. I'm not asking you to call, but I would need somebody who will be on WhatsApp regularly and steadily to help me, to help everybody who is listening to navigate through this program this evening. And I also encourage you, all of you who are listening, to try and do the same. This is what we are going to do today, so we understand. I want to bury the issue of Niger Delta because I came across something before I came live on air. That some people have, sometimes out of shame, they have clung on to a dying name, Niger Delta. They have clung on to it. not out of any firm conviction that their position is correct. They are doing so out of shame and humiliation because they do not know what to tell their Janjaweed masters from the caliphate anymore. They have taken money. You know, when you have taken bribe over the years, when you have been bought over, you have no conscience anymore. It is only shame. As I used to say to my Ikure brothers and sisters, in 2012, I told the Ikure brothers and sisters, you are Igbo. Some said, no, we are not Igbo. I said, you are Igbo. They said, no, we are not. I said, because you were trained with money, ill-gotten wealth from abandoned property. Out of shame, that is why you say Igbo is not Igbo, because you stole properties belonging to your own flesh and blood. And lo and behold, they all repented. They repented that today, as I speak to you, Ikwere is one of the strongest lands we have IPOB in. Very strong and formidable. They understand it. These are the people that I respect. When you make a mistake, you say, we made a mistake. And you repent from it. The same mistakes that the Igbos made after the war. Instead of going to Cross River, instead of going to Efi, to Bibi, to Kagan, to Ekoi, going to Oron, going to Anang, going to Izon, going to everywhere, to go to Shiri, everywhere. To go even to Anioma, go to Benue, go to a Gala land to say we are one. Mistakes we are made. There is something called magnanimity. When you are in a position of power, in a position of authority, it is up to you to be magnanimous. They failed to show that leadership. That's why we're suffering today. And I have apologized time and time again for the failure of the post-war leadership, especially in Igbo land, for not going and uniting their people, for allowing the Janjaweed to use somewhere like Gowon to decimate our land. That today, when people speak of Igbo land, they will just say just the 5 states, forgetting that everybody is Igbo. Everybody is Igbo. I said everybody in the East, you are Igbo. This evening, we bury this Niger Delta rubbish completely, so they will never resurface again. I want to showcase the stupidity of those that still refer themselves as like. I want to showcase so that the world will know. It is quite interesting that I'm coming on air when I posted something yesterday regarding somebody that was beating a white man to stupor in America because the white man called him nigger. He was upset. But this is a name that people are proudly calling themselves in Nigeria, which is Nigeria. A very proud name that some people who are not well educated are calling themselves, oh, we are nigger delta. They don't know the meaning of it. Some, or should I say, had the temerity, or should I say the audacity, to question this. I call it the sanctity of my assertions. I call it sanctity. Because before I come here to proclaim anything, I research it 4 times. Quadruple distillation. So that anything we speak is pure and refined. Now listen very carefully. We are doing what we are doing because people wonder, why do we do things? Why do you agitate the way you do? I want to address some of the problems that people have. Why do you have this agitation the way you do it? You insult the elders, you insult the children, you insult the pastors. I said yes, because they're doing something wrong. When you go wrong as children, your parents flog you. Not because they hate you. Your mother is the person to discipline you more. Your mother disciplines you more than your father does. When it gets out of hand, she will say to you, oh, I will tell your father when your father gets back. And you know you're in serious trouble. Does it mean your mom hates you? All that time, as a little child, you're misbehaving and you're being punished or disciplined. Does it mean your mother hates you? It's because she loves you. Because I'm sure when you listen to this song from Chris Nicon, mother, you start dancing to it. Do you remember all the punishment you received from your mom? No, because she was doing it for your own good. The same way it is with us here on Radio Biafra, from this platform. The same way it is with IPOB. Anything we tell you, no matter how painful it sounds, is because we want you to be a better person. Because if you're better, we're all better off. We are not looking for a Biafra. We are not 1% will be comfortable. No, we want everybody to be comfortable. And for us to achieve that, we all must reason at least above a particular threshold. The minimum threshold for reasoning must be attained for you to sustain any civilized society, or else you'll be like the zoo called Nigeria today, where everybody knows that there is no head of state, there is no president, there is no vice, there is no army chief. Everybody knows that Asorok is empty. I said everybody knows. But out of fear, and what I call parochial interest, they've all kept quiet. And people are dying, and people are suffering, yet they're all quiet. And now I'm struggling to understand how I can be nice to these people that have seen reason and have refused to acknowledge it. Now we understand where anger comes from. That we not anger born out of hatred, but anger born out of concern for the well-being of everybody. How can you be a leader and you hate people? How is that possible? Of course it's not possible. You admonish people. It doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you don't want them in Biafra. Of course not. We want everybody to come along. And I also want the way I tackle Yoruba is because I actually love them, as a matter of fact. I want them to change from their old bad ways and see the folly, see the mistakes they have made, take corrections and become a better people. That is it. Have I, ever since I researched and I realized how good the Hausa people are, do I castigate Hausa people? Because I know in the men they're very good people. Forget about the very horrible influence of Fulani Janjaweedism over them. The Hausa people are very good people. Do you hear me castigating them? Sometimes, if any of you grew up in the village, you will know that that very child that the mother loves to discipline the most is the one she loves more than the rest of the children. That's the way it is. Because she wants that very child to be useful. I want you to situate, or should I say, contextualize what we are saying within this. It is born out of love and affection, not to do with hatred. If we hate people, we go and kill them. We have the men to do it. If you want you to die, you would. If I say you will die tomorrow morning, you will die tomorrow morning. I can do it. But Elohim said, no, that is not the job I sent you. You must speak sense into them. And that's exactly what we are doing. Why would you hate? I say in the village, if you hate somebody, you allow that child to put his or her finger in the fire. But if you love the child and you see the child putting his or her finger in the fire, you will admonish that child. The child will cry, if you notice. Now you're going to understand us. I promised that I'm not going to insult anybody, and I won't today. But I want you to listen very, very attentively, please. The Biafra we are building is a Biafra of free men and women who can think, who can stand up and say that our president is dead. What is happening? Why are you people not following constitutional procedure? They will say to those in charge, you will all go to prison. And they will all go to prison. That is the nation we want to build. Because if there are no sanctions when you break the law, anybody will do as they like. Is there anything I've told you before that is a lie? Is there anything I've told you before that is a lie? When I told you that Magu was corrupt, did you believe me? When I was campaigning for Justice Okalu to come to this, did you believe me? When I said the entire Fulani is corrupt, did you believe me? But now, we've not even started, and they are investigating them in the USA. More is coming. Today is Magu not implicated in fraud and corruption. I cannot knowingly cast aspersions over anybody who is innocent. If I do, I apologize for it. But every time I'm saying something, I'm pointing at telling you Asorok is empty. When I announced in July of 2017 that Buhari is dead, I knew what I was saying. How many years till now? Now, some of you, at least about 80% of you, have not been. But out of fear and cowardice, you cannot say anything. We want to build a country of free men and women, not the same type of useless independence we have in Africa today. Where when somebody speaks, you can pick them up and you lock them up, you kill them. No! No! Because sometimes you learn something from criticisms. You do, you learn from it. Without people criticizing you, how can you think you are or something? So sometimes criticisms, at least the objective ones, allow you to see yourself as a mere mortal, which we all are. And you can also learn, I've said it many times, I don't want people that sing praises all the time, no. I want to know what you're thinking genuinely and honestly within you. Because I'm going to learn from it. I always learn. I learn every day. I read every day. That is the mindset we are going to have when we go to Biafra. That every criticism is valid. Very, very valid. It may be done out of malice, it doesn't matter. At least it will keep you on your toes and remind you never to fail. It's like somebody saying to you in those days, one kind of guy who this child will not be useful to your parents. You now go out to prove to them that you will be more than useful to your parents. That's the way it is. So you must see it that way. Now what we're going to do is very simple. I want everybody, please, those who have spare gadget, internet access, go to your internet and type in something very simple and common. Very simple and common, please. I want it posted on the page as well, please. I want it posted. Something very simple and common, not too difficult, not too complex. Just a simple Google search. Because I want to cure those in Niger Delta of their disease tonight once and for all. So that anybody saying, open his or her mouth to say, I am a Niger Deltan, you know how foolish that person is. I won't be the one to insult them. You will be the one to insult that very person. Now listen very carefully. I want you to go and look at the origin of the word Niger. Please. The origin of the word Niger. Do you know what I find? When Google returns the result for Niger, which is Niger, Niger is, you have River Niger, is that correct? You also have Niger Republic, which is French pronounced Niger, we know it's Niger. You also have a state called Niger in the zoo, called Nigeria, or Nigeria. You also have a people that hide, should I say, their ignorance under the canopy of Nigeria, which cannot be established culturally, linguistically, or socially. Because before you go into a union with a people, you must have something in common. I have established the historical and immovable, should I say, pointer as to what binds us together as Biafran people. Anybody whose mom ties two-piece wrapper, it is cultural, it is also social, and it's historical. Now, I want them to prove to me what binds a man from Ogoke. You have to travel through Ibanke, travel through Anioma, travel through Anambra, travel through Enugu. You have to travel through Ebonyi to get to Ogoke. I just want the rationale. I want to understand the rationale behind anybody putting a Bini man, Bini, and somebody from Ogoja based on what? I ask them. They cannot answer me. Have you done what I asked you to do, please? Have you Googled Niger? Say, where did the word Niger come from? It's something so simple and easy. Where did it come from? From where? You will notice something immediately. Do you know what you notice? You will notice that there is nothing called Niger. Actually, it's actually nigger. Every result you see returned is nigger. Not Niger anymore. It's nigger. Which is to tell you that Niger is actually the corrupt version of it. I want you to click that word. There is one called Origins of the Word. Niger. Colon. Origins of the Word. You will see it. If you're using a laptop to do your search, it should come up as number 2 on your search results on Google. Please, what we are doing this very evening is a bit mundane, but it is very, very important that we learn how to educate ourselves and to reason properly. Because God Almighty said, if you people cannot reason very well, I cannot give you background. That is why we have been spending years and years educating our people at least to be able to reason properly. If you go to that very note, you will see it. What is, let us look at it. Forget about even the meaning of it. Origin. Where did it come from? And then you now begin to understand what they have to us. what they have done to us. Nobody knows. Now, what they say here is Nigrita, Nigritia. Now, Nigritia is a region in Central Africa nearly equivalent to Sudan, the home of the most pronounced type of Negro race. Negro race. Are you listening to me very carefully? That is one explanation. And then they analyzed it what it is from Niger. And then they kept going. Now, listen, you'll be shocked, oh. Listen, please. The name Nigeria first appeared in print, according to Dr. Meek, in 1960. It appeared, Dr. Meek wrote in 1960, the first time that anybody ever heard of the name Nigeria was in 1897. I will come to this later on. It was the title of an article, listen carefully, in a leading newspaper written by Miss Flora Shaw. Miss Flora Shaw. And only Flora Shaw can tell the whole world, maybe from beyond the grave, why she brought this name, Niger, to give it to Nigerians. So before 1897, the history of your ancestors never existed. As a race, you didn't exist. Now, I want you to understand that this is the reason why Europeans, white people, don't have respect for African people. I want to point it out to you. Now, because if a little white child is going through his or her history book, and yes, Daddy, I want to know about Nigeria. Where do Nigeria? The child will read that Nigeria never existed until 1897, when an English girl, her name is Miss Flora Shaw, wrote an article in a newspaper, in the Times actually, mentioning Nigeria for the very first time. Now, if that child is sensible, that child will ask you, but does it mean people didn't exist in Nigeria before 1897? What will you answer that child? Therefore, anybody who subscribes to this Nigeria, Niger this, Niger that, what you're saying is that a white man is superior to you, number one, not me saying it, but you. And number two, that you had no history. You never existed until you adopted this name. Do you see why this name has to go? Do you understand why this name has to go? Now, we continue. If you continue further, you will now go back to the search results again after the origin. You will see nigger. Wikipedia says nigger. A brief history of the world's greatest taboo. Nigger, N-I-G-G-E-R. No more Niger, everything is nigger. All the way through is nigger. In fact, they're saying, where did the N word come from? One says, the definition of nigger. What does it mean? It is all there for you to see. This is a name that some people decide to call themselves. If you call a black man nigger in the UK or Europe or in America, you go to prison. Now I'm asking myself, on what basis should people get upset when they're called a nigger by a white man? You say it's racist. On what basis? Why should you get upset when a white man calls you nigger? Why? Because the most populous, allegedly, black country in the whole world is Nigeria. Their names are nigger. They are nigger. People that come from a nigger area. So why should you get upset when a white man calls you nigger? Why? I keep asking that. Why? And now on top of that, and what does nigger mean? Nigger means darkness, evil, bad. You are in Nigeria, a place called Niger, and somebody is saying that even our own delta, where a river, which is Orimiri, flows into the sea, they are putting on the apparel of another nigger. Inside the nigger already, double darkness. And that's why I want that picture posted of Nigeria to see how dark it is in the southern part of Biafra, in the coastal region. People don't know when they use their mouth to bring curse upon themselves. And I keep asking them, you have given birth to a son or a child, or maybe you're planning to get married one day to give birth to children. Are you telling me that you're going to name your child absurdity? Is that what you're telling me? Are you going to tell me that you're going to name your child evil? Are you telling me you're going to name your child nigger? Of course not. Of course not. Then I'm asking you, why should you accept it? A name, a derisory, insultive name. You said Nnamdi Kanu insults you all the time. But the name you're answering is an insult. The white girl that gave it to you didn't give it to you out of love or any care or concern. Gave it to you out of derision. She wanted to dehumanize you. They anglicized it. Nigeria is nigger. That's the correct pronoun. That is why, can you see that if you go to Google and you put in, where did the word Niger, didn't put nigger, where did the word Niger, everything you see is nigger all the way through. Because they can't lie. Can you see it now? So when you say, I'm a proud Nigerian, you're saying, I'm a proud darkness. Let me go to somebody have sent it to me. I don't have their name. Their name is not here. Somebody send this thing to me on WhatsApp right now as we speak. Let me see what the person's name is. See if we have their name here. He's a retired professor. I will not mention his name. He is a retired professor of medicine and biomedical engineering at UNN. He sent this thing to me. I won't mention his name. But right now, he is a visiting professor to Futo. These are the people that listen to us. He sent me something now, which means he is following. And Prof, I thank you very much. He is following. He sent me the Wikipedia. He sent me the origins of the word. And also, he's asking for nigger. Don't forget. But they're sending him results on nigger. Everywhere is nigger. Now, do you understand it? Now, do you understand where you curse yourself? You brought shame upon yourself. And you want white people to feel sorry for you. Whereas the name you're answering is exactly how they're treating you. They treat you like a nigger. And you're upset. And you're crying. And you're saying Black Lives Matter. Whereas there is a place. In fact, even two countries. One is a nigger. The other one is nigger area. Does that make sense to you? I keep asking you, does it mean that somebody from Obowo has a relationship with somebody from Niamey in Niger Republic? But it's still nigger. And the funniest and most painful part is that there are black people willing to die to defend an insultive name given to them by a white girl. That is, when you think about it, you become shocked to the bone marrow. You're telling me that people are prepared to go to war, to kill themselves, to arrest you, to detain you without trial, over a name given to them in 1897, not even by a white girl. I don't know the name of the people. I just saying, they look black and they're nigger. Just nigger. Now you understand this? And let me tell you, go to on Wikipedia to understand. When I say, so as a Nigerian, you are already insulting yourself. Not Nnamdi Kanu insulting you. You are insulting yourself. I want to bury this whole Niger Delta rubbish. You are in a nigger area. And you're naming a part of the land of God Almighty in heaven. Nigger. I think you must be, I'm not insulting anybody, but I think they must be mad. Honestly. In the land of the Most High, do you know you are occupying the center of the earth? 0 latitude and 0 longitude. The very epicenter of humanity. And do you also know that the continent of Africa, every other continent have moved? Only Africa remains in one place. Are you aware of that? I'm sure some of you may have heard of tectonic plates, about, volcanic, should I say, the happenings that goes on in the earth crust, expanding the continents. So you don't know that at the time that South America and Africa were together as one plate, and South America broke off. All of them have been drifting. That is why you have earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Don't you know that? Because the earth is like a plate, it's like a glass. It's sitting on a molten magma. So it's always moving and shifting. But only Africa has remained in one place. It has never moved. In one place, it has never moved. And you, that you represent light itself, a little white girl was sent by the Times newspaper of London, came to Africa. After traveling into, he decided to write about niggers, and they gave to you as a name, and you adopted it. You're a nigger. That is the highest insult in the world. And you're telling me, somebody is now telling me that I'm insulting them. When you are a bundle of insult to yourself, you are any day you say, I'm a Niger, you are insult, you are a nigger. Niger, call it, slang it however you like. You are a nigger. And I'll tell you what it means. So that the enormity of your, should I say, ignorance, let me not say stupidity, can be driven home. Listen, according to Wikipedia. We asked about Niger, so Wikipedia knows that there's nothing called Niger, it is nigger. Forget all the semantics, it's nigger. We asked, according to Professor, he's emeritus actually, he sent me this very link, and I want to read it for you, what Niger means. Let me call it Niger, or Nigeria, what it means. In the English language, this is according to Wikipedia, the word Niger, or nigger, is an ethnic slur. Ethnic slur, which means it is used as insinuation or allegations about members of a given ethnicity, or to refer to them in a derogatory, pejorative, or otherwise insulting manner. Hey! So you say to my name, the cat is insulting you, yes? You are insulting yourself, not me. Now listen again. What does the word nigger mean? It's an ethnic slur. It is a name used to refer to people in a derogatory manner, in an insultive manner, in a pejorative manner. So anytime you say, I'm a Nigerian, you're saying to the world, I'm a monkey, I'm a baboon, I'm a fool, I'm an idiot, I'm a darkness. Now that is your name. No wonder they don't, when I speak, no wonder they don't want Nigeria to break up. No wonder. No wonder. And I kept thinking to myself, why is it that God in heaven keeps saying to me that Biafra is the light of Africa? I never knew until yesterday. And the reason why they always want you to maintain the name Nigeria is because you are darkness. Darkness is fighting light, which is Biafra. So the only thing a white man can do is to name the British. They saw the light of God in us. And how do you cover light? It's not darkness, you cover everywhere. Subdue it. And that's what they did. So instead of them to say, oh, you are the children of light, you're doing very well, they said, no, we will now give you a very good name. Darkness. And once you accepted that name, that your name is darkness, darkness came into our essence, our being, and our spirit. That is why we are poor today. That is why there is nothing you can do in Nigeria and it will progress. It doesn't matter how many times you change government. It doesn't matter if anybody you bring, the zoo will be the zoo. Never ever change. Why? Because of your name. I asked you before, will you name your child darkness? Will you name your child nigger? It's a simple question. If you cannot name your child nigger, why have you allowed a little white girl to call all of you nigger forever and ever? And you say you're proud of it. Now you understand, don't you? Now you understand, don't you? This is why you're being killed. Because of this name, because of this darkness. That is why things are happening in the zoo and nobody cares to know about it. And after tonight, are you still going to call yourself a Niger Delta? Or a Niger Deltan? Or a Nigerian? Or from Niger State? Niger State is Niger State. And you want something good to come out of it? Hey, it is actually Spanish for Negro and the descendant of the Latin adjective negro. That's what it is, which means darkness, black, darkness, evil. It was used derogatorily, especially in the USA. It's a racist insult. A racist insult. That is your name as a people. And you're telling me that you're ever going to progress from it. I doubt that very much. That is why your name follows you everywhere you go to. Follows you all the time. Who can give a better child and name the child absurdity? Can you do that? Can you name your daughter, your beautiful child, absurdity? But that's what you're answering as a Nigerian. A racist slur. You have no shame. I'm sorry, I said I'm not going to insult anyone today. When we say some of these things, now you can appreciate where we're coming from. Now you can. Please, what we are doing here is to free people from their mental slavery. Because we're not going to take people who cannot reason very well into Biafra land. We cannot take you. There's no need. We need people who can reason. And please try and put it up. Mental slavery is what we are trying to treat here. The white folks in the USA and before that Europe did not destroy the fabric of the black man with overwhelming force of brutality. Although, you know, we worked in the USA for 250 years without pay. We gave America 250 years of free labor. In fact, they even made gain. After working for them for free, they still sell us and make profit on top of it. Do you know how the white man achieved the subjugation of a black man? Because they succeeded in diverting our attention away from a thought process that will lead us to intelligence. Intelligence is the key. And what leads you to intelligence is the ability to reason. You must be able to reason properly. That is the pain I'm going through every day. How can black people reason? How can they reason beyond their useless, sentiment? How can you be less sentimental and more critical and discerning? Once we achieve that, we have unlocked the door. Everybody will be free. We are not an intelligent people. Intelligent people will not call themselves nigger, an insultive word. You cannot do that to yourself and then expect something good to come out of it. Absolutely not. In 1884 to 1885, they held a conference in Berlin. Please post it, just the caption. The meeting that formalized colonization. And anybody who accepts colonization means you have no shame. And I love what the author of this piece did. He said, just like livestock. You know the way you have poultry? Sometimes you go to poultry, you divide the layers and what they call it. There is the layers and the hey, can we handle you have in the poultry you have layers and you have I don't know what the other one is called. Please. I know you have the way that you go into your poultry farm and you separate the ones that lay egg and the one you're going to sell for meat. That's how it is. That's what this author said. Just like livestock, in 1884 to 1885, Africans were shared among men who believe that the color of your skin determines who is a slave or a master. Nigger, 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 Nigerian, Nigeria, Nigeria, Niger Delta, Niger Delta, Niger State, Niger State, Niger River. Do you understand? The author said, just like livestock, they just went into the poultry and said, hey, come, Otto from Bismarck, Germany, take 4 chickens here from, please. Who else? Come and take 4 goats. Come and take them. It's now yours. That was how Congo became the personal property of King Leopold, the most evil man in modern history. Now, do you understand it? That's how Britain received their own share of the poultry, which is Nigeria. And people are fighting every day and dying every day to preserve something that was created to dehumanize you. That is the brain of the African man I want to get into. If we can understand this, all of us are free. We must proceed. There is a question I've been asking myself over and over again. Why is it that a black man is prepared to kill for and be killed for something a white man created to enslave him? Can somebody answer that question, please? We must defend Nigeria. Nigeria is the one Nigeria. And I kept wondering, why is it that meeting after meeting, diplomatic meeting after diplomatic, I hear the same thing. But don't you think you can do something and leave Nigeria as one? I don't know. It was when they were trying to shield us away from the truth. That is why when he mentioned Biafra at the UN, they all get up and they run away. They know we represent the light. And the name Nigeria is darkness. They want darkness to cover Africa because Nigeria is the most populous nation in the whole world. The ones you hold Nigeria down with this idiocy, you have held every black man down. We cracked it. Now, do you see why we agitated for Biafra? Not from a human standpoint. We go into the spirit and see things that mere mortals cannot see. Do you see why they beg you Nigeria should be one? One Nigeria. What can you do to keep Nigeria one? Why don't you answer Biafra inside Nigeria? Because there is need for that darkness to continue. Because your name is darkness. Your name is evil. Your name means you can never be enlightened. Your name abhors light. And as we have seen from our lectures on Sunday, even Quran says God is light. The Torah says God is light. The Christian New Testament says God is light. And somebody named you darkness. Is there anywhere in Spain they call Negroland? No. Now you understand, don't you? Do you see the game they're playing? And they said, oh, leave it as one. Anybody that tells you, leave it as one Nigeria, you know that person, even in the spiritual realm, has been initiated to fight light. They are the children of Satan. That is why Obasanjo will always defend. Because Obasanjo is the agent. I know him very well. He thinks I know him well. He's the agent. They want on Nigeria because they represent darkness. Darkness. How can you tell me that you went to school and you want to name your child darkness? Nigger. A racist slur word. Something that is used to demean you. That is what you're answering with green, white, green flag. And the 200 million people under eternal damnation and subjugation without knowing it. And you claim you have universities. Ordinary Google don't get it. Ordinary Google, go and Google your name. And let the shame overcome you. Go and read the one from Wikipedia. Let your shame overwhelm you. How else do you want me to teach this? How else do you want me to teach this so you understand? So that the brain of a black man can open. How else do you want me to teach it? Your name is darkness. A little white girl came out of, should I say, her racist convictions, named you Nigeria. Niggers, and you accepted. And if they call you a nigger anywhere else outside Nigeria, you start complaining. But you're a nigger. Instead of saying, I'm a Nigerian, say, hey, you're a nigger. It's better now. That's your name. I want to sound like one of these useless American rap artists. I don't like rap music. Some of them I don't like. It's a very useless genre. Doesn't add anything to your life. We must continue. Why must you defend something a white man created to enslave you? Some people say I don't have respect nor regard for black people, that I keep promoting white supremacy. No, I'm only highlighting your stupidity, not promoting white. Your name is nigger. How am I insulting you then? Is that not your name? That's a Nigerian. Are you not nigger? Is that not the meaning? The literal meaning of your name is nigger. How am I insulting you? You insult yourself. You say people are insulting you. Nigeria was created, or Nigeria was created as part of a process of partitioning of Africa by Europeans for their own economic gains. Nigeria was not created because they love you. And it was created as an economic, as a company. All of you that claim you want to maintain one Nigeria, you are maintaining a British company. Not a nation, not a country. You can lie to yourselves because of the oil and gas from Biafra land. You can lie as much as you want. Your name is nigger. You were created to serve the British, and you will serve them every blessed year of your life. All of you are slaves. It is here. Is anybody saying that colonialism was a good thing? Is that You know, people say, oh, we must end colonialism. It's not good. You acknowledge that colonialism is not a good thing. But you're keeping all the vestiges of colonialism. You went to war because of it. Something a white man created. You are prepared to kill 5 million people because those people said, we don't want this British company called Nigeria. Fellow black Africans went to war, killed their fellow Africans in order to preserve something that a little white girl created. Is there any idiocy higher than that one? I don't know. Oh, they are DCOG black people. What was the outcome of colonialism, if not the creation of contraptions like Nigeria? Now, if you say that colonialism is bad, and Nigeria, you acknowledge that Nigeria is a product of colonialism, it therefore means that Nigeria is a bad product. I don't know if you follow what I'm saying. If the colonialism that gave birth to Nigeria is bad, it therefore means that that very product is flawed. If it's not bad, why did you campaign against colonialism? Why, I ask you? Somebody said, of course, I'm not insulting anybody. I promise I'm not good. I won't insult anybody today. I'm not. I just want to lecture. As heaven has directed me to. I want to lecture. I'm not insulting anyone, please. I'm not. It's simple common sense. Nigeria, the zoo, Nigeria is a product of a flawed, exploitative process. Therefore, Nigeria is bound to be exploitative and bad. Evil will always beget evil. That's what it is. Colonialism was bad. The product of colonialism are all these flag independent states in Africa, of which the most prominent is the zoo called Nigeria. Area. It means it is also bad. Some people have said, oh, you must focus on delivering the people from the zoo first before educating them. I totally disagree. I comprehensively disagree wholeheartedly. Because the mindset we use to enter into our new nation, Biafra, is going to be the sum total of what we are likely to become from there on in. Any region in the zoo, Nigeria, you see why I call it a zoo, Niger area. Any people in the Niger area that fails to reorientate their people will end up being another Nigeria. Only worse this time. If we go into Biafra with the mentality of Nigeria, we are finished. The time now is 4 minutes past 8 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. That's how you know we are live and direct. Any other time, it will be different. Then you know it is, recorded, broadcast, the one they do with whoever is wearing the mask in Asarok. Recorded broadcast. You have a president who is alive, but cannot do a live program. Only in the zoo, only in Nigeria. And anyway, I said I won't insult anyone. Let's proceed. That is why I said that the lectures we give you on Radio Biafra, they are priceless. You can't buy them anywhere. If I start to charge for it, I don't think anybody can afford to pay me what it's worth. So that we can enter into Biafra with a clear mind, a brain that can think and discern. We are preparing our reasoning faculties for Biafra. Africans were taught to fight colonialism, but not to adequately identify and resist neo-colonialism. Azikiwe, Awolowo, Ahmadu Bello, they may have fought, so they claim, but of course we know it was America after the Second World War that told Europe to get away from Africa. It's not what you did in Africa that stopped them. It was America saying, enough of this rubbish, get away from Africa, and they all ran away. As it happened with the Suez Canal and Eden. If you don't know, let me tell you. There was a time that Britain, after colonialism, ran back to Suez Canal to go and take it in Egypt. And the American president, I think it was Truman, is it Roosevelt or Truman? I can't remember. Either Roosevelt or Truman said to Eden, the British Prime Minister, to come on, get away from Suez Canal. One phone call, and the British withdrew and gave Gamal Abdel Nasser Suez Canal. And Egypt has it till today. Remember Suez Canal? Do you know the Suez Canal? S-U-E-Z. S-U-E-Z. The Suez Canal that cuts down the journey. Because before, every ship from Europe traveling to India or traveling to the Gulf of Aden will have to pass through the Cape of Good Hope, go around Africa, and then go up again through the Indian Ocean into the Arabian Gulf. But the Suez Canal made it possible. They control it, they open it, and the ships can pass, and they charge for it. Britain wanted to go back and take it in the early 60s. Britain stormed it with paratroopers to take over Suez Canal from the then Egyptian leader Gamal Abdel Nasser, who was assassinated by the Israelis. He took it. Do you know why he took it? One phone call from the US president to Prime Minister Eden told him to get away, that the era of colonialism is gone. Get away from Africa. Britain came back in disgrace. Go and ask or consult your history books. They know, we know anyway. We must proceed. And today, the reason why I want to play this very clip is to let the whole world know that everything I tell you is correct. You have all seen it. It went viral. You know about the soldier that he went and did a video. Whistleblowing is called, to expose what is happening in the army. I told you that Burata is nowhere to be found. You know, when I said this, he's a madman, don't trust him. Hey, look at what he said. Do you know that there was somebody who said that the reason why I'm against the pastors is because, corrupt pastors I must add, is because I wanted them to believe in my conspiracy theory that Aso is empty. This is somebody who went to school. Now, you didn't believe me before. But this is somebody who is fighting for the zoo. As a soldier, of course, misguided, a black man. He's fighting for the zoo. Let us hear what he has to say about your beloved one, Nigeria. Anything I tell you, anybody who doubts anything I say, you know that person is an agent of Lucifer. I cannot mislead our people. The God that sent me to preach this gospel won't even allow me to. That is what everything I tell you is correct. This is another justification, should I say, vindication of what I've been telling you about this. This is an army that wants to fight us. I know it's Britain that will fight for them, not them. Fulani on the earth cannot win any war. They always depend on other. Now that Chad said they won't help them again, Cameroon said they are not helping you again, and Niger Republic. Have you seen that Nigerian army is all over the place? They cannot win a war. But if you see them, if you hear them making noise, you wonder. The Biafran War was won and lost. It was a war between British colonialism and Biafra. That's all. Nothing to do with Zuami or Basanjo rubbish. Nonsense. On top of that, they blockaded us air, land, and sea. No weaponry, no food, no nothing. We held out against Russia, Egypt, Britain for 3 years. This army cannot fight, and before heaven and Nigerian army, they are useless. They cannot fight. They can never fight. Let them not provoke us. Of course, this is 2020 now. We don't have fight. Let us hear him, what he has to say. Listen. Listen, oh.
I'm reading this is because
listen
of the commander I'm under, which is the Chief of Army Staff.
Chief of Army Staff, yes.
Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai.
Yes. Buratai.
As I'm making this video, I want to let you know that I'm highly disappointed in your command.
Yes. Buratai is missing.
Call yourself a coward.
He's a coward.
A traitor and a betrayer to the Nigeria as a whole.
Are you listening?
I don't care what you do. You may think you are God. You may try to kill me. You may try to do this. But I'm there of business with you because you are no more loyal. You cannot earn my loyalty with what you are doing. you cannot earn my loyalty.
He's an army officer.
The CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, I am highly disappointed in you.
Chief of Defense Staff is highly disappointed.
Disappointed in you in the sense that you are the Chief of Defense Staff. The Army, the Navy, the Air Force,
yes,
are under you.
Under him, yes.
You are the piloter of this to bring out the structure of the military. You have failed. To the extent you are even collecting command from COAS.
Are you listening? Do you people now listen to, do you now listen to me at all? Some of you have seen this video, you didn't analyze it very well, or you didn't actually understand what he's talking about. He is saying, now let me I just want to go, I don't want to go too far. I want to do everything out in the open. I want to say, who is the, I'm just Googling it please. Who is the Chief of Defense Staff in Nigeria? Chief of Defense Staff in Nigeria. And then I'll explain to you what is going on properly. He's a Yoruba man. And now his name is General Abayomi Gabriel Olonisakin, Yoruba man, taking orders from a Fulani man that should be taking orders from him. He is the chief of the. So I said, you know, some people, they go through they see this video, some of these things, they don't read. People don't read meaning into it. Listen, they don't read meaning into it.
After this video,
let's go back a little bit.
Loyalty.
Listen.
I know after this video, you may come.
No. I want to go back a little bit.
The military. It says that you are the Chief of Defense Staff.
Chief of Defense Staff.
The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, they are on.
Olanisakin is Chief of Defense Staff. So he's in charge of Army, in charge of Navy, in charge of Air Force. That is the meaning of Chief of Defense Staff. All the other service chiefs report to him. Now listen. This is when I said this, they say you hate Yoruba. I don't hate Yoruba, but Yoruba, your cowardice is what is affecting my soul. It's affecting my brain. Yoruba, you do this time and time and time again. You are higher than somebody who is a janjaweed. Why must you? If I say this, they say it's propaganda. Now they carry with his propaganda. This is from an army officer. They've arrested him today. He's an army officer. He is saying it. What this man is telling you is that the Yoruba officers serving in the army, that they are cowards. That's what he's telling you. That's what he's telling you. That's what he's saying. Not me. If not, why would somebody who is the chief of defense, entire defense structure, General Abayomi Gabriel Olonisakin, why would you report to Buratai, who should be reporting to you? Hey! Do you see why we need these lectures? Do you see why it is important? Because in Biafra land, it will never be like this. You must obey the chain of. You see what Fulanis have done to people. Everything is upside down. The constitution upside down. The legal system upside down. Everything is upside down. Including the reporting, the chain of command in the army. Or should I say the defense sector. That should be sacrosanct. Because that is why they don't want to put a Biafran there. They know the Biafran will say no, report to me. They put a Yoruba man. Oh yes, member. And when I say it, the Yorubas will get upset. Don't be upset. I'm telling you, you people need to change. That is what he's saying. Let's listen to him again, please. This soldier. Listen.
You are the piloter of this to bring out the structure of the military. You have failed. To the extent you are even collecting command from COAS.
Do you know who's COAS? Chief of Army Staff. This young man is saying that Abayomi Gabriel Olanisakin, you have failed. Now, these are the people you expect to defend you against Boko Haram, against ISIS in West Africa, against Al Qaeda in the Maghreb, against Ansuri, against Mimiet Yala. Do you see that the Yorubas in Nigerian army, that they're a waste of space? They just have rank for nothing. Waste of space. Somebody that Buratai, when he was alive, should be reporting to, is the one reporting to Buratai. Can you believe such? No wonder they're arming all the bandits and he cannot say anything. This is from a Nigerian soldier. Now you understand why we say the things we say and why we say them the way we say them. Do you now understand it? When I say they say you are an ethnic bigot, Yoruba should stop being cowardly. There are brave men there. Fajuyi was a Yoruba man, stood beside Ironsi and fought. There are some Yoruba men that fought in Biafran army. So I know there are brave, mostly from Ekiti. There are brave. Where are you people? Why do you allow people like this man, Oloni Cassin or whatever it's called, to bring dishonor to you people? Why? Reporting to somebody who should, he's a general. This one is a lieutenant general. A general is higher than a lieutenant general, isn't it? Unbelievable. 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 Hey, Yoruba, why are you like this? Why? Why are you? Why can't people be brave for once? Be brave. Call a spade a spade. Be brave. Be brave. Hi. Is it that people are afraid of the Fulani? What is it? Is it only? I thought it's only Kwara State people lost. What type of damage did the Fulani do to you people that you are afraid? Even a friend that you are higher than in rank, you are terrified of him. Why? Yoruba, why? No wonder when the chief of defense staff is a Yoruba man, he's scared, he cannot do anything, and chief of army staff is dead. He died, he contracted corona, he's dead. That is why today 240 persons were killed, within 6 days. 240 persons killed by Boko Haram bandits within 6 days in northern Nigeria, according to a group. Abdul Aziz Suleiman, I don't know what is CNG? What is the meaning of CNG? Coalition of Northern Groups. In a statement today said, Nigerians have steadily lost confidence in the ability of the authorities to reverse the uncertainties arising from the cyclical violence which has continued to ravage the country. Who are carrying out the violence? Janjaweed. Who's in charge of the army? Janjaweed. Also, in fact, the Yorubas they have are just OES member. They report to their juniors. And you think this army can win any war? Oh dear. Oh, we're only a few months away. We shall see. Have you seen your zoo? 240 people dead, slaughtered. People are dying every place. Let me tell you the problem I have with a Nigerian, a Nigerian, so to speak. A Nigerian cannot reason. Your average Nigerian cannot reason. People from this darkness, they cannot see. They are not enlightened. They are not. There is every sign that things are not okay. You don't have a head of state, you don't have a president, you don't have any vice. There is no chief of army staff. Who is the main man? The chief of defense staff is afraid. What sort of country is that? Are you people all blind? You cannot see? Or you cannot reason? How can you have a president and such rubbish is happening? How can you have a president that demolishing your embassy in Ghana? You have a president and they're kicking you out in Congo. What sort of people are you? Why can't you reason, for goodness sake? Why? Because you're afraid. No, that's a name, the Kano. If he gets his Biafra, we won't get oil and gas. So all the Yoruba billionaires will go bankrupt overnight because they depend on oil, isn't it? And gas to make their billions. That's what they say. We support Niger Delta. Don't encroach into Niger Delta. They think we are daft. We know their game. As if you love the so-called Niger Delta. Do you? Do you? Oh no, so Alakija and Otedola and Tinubu with their oil companies, they can be allocating, sharing all the money, oil blocks, everything. You think we are stupid? We don't know. So you love Niger Delta and the headquarters of every petroleum company is in Lagos. Every personnel that they bring in, even at the so-called Petroleum Institute, is only Other people who are there, no Biafrans are there. Yeah, you love Nigeria. The thing that is in the olden days, before Radio Biafra, now we have come. And IPOB is on the ground. All that lies. You know, I can see that now mobilizing their agents, the Sabo in our midst, to be talking. Oh, what are we doing? You're there. And Namdekan and IPOB everywhere. It's Namdekan and IPOB. What are you doing? You see the Sabo will come out and make one video. That's how you know them. They talk rubbish and they disappear. They talk nonsense and they disappear. My happiness is that their audience are no longer existent. They have disappeared. Now our people are wiser. Now we know the truth. They think we are foolish. Let us now look at another thing which you have escaped. Some people tell I forgot about Asarok. No, I'm going into it tonight. Asarok, yes, we are going there now. We are going there because there is nobody there. This woman has called out Aisha many times. Where are Nigerian men? She did the video, lied. That was the day that, believe you me, before God, that was the day I thought to myself that I prayed to God and I said, God, black people, where did you get them from? I was asking God, are you sure you didn't create us by mistake? Are you sure? Aisha came out, not once, not twice, to say to everybody, there are a group of people, cabal, they have hijacked my government, my husband's government. Everybody kept that. I'm like, hey, Madam said some cabal, they took her husband's government as a joke. She was crying for help. That time, Abakari had the upper hand. They humiliated her, not once, not twice. Now Abakari is dead and she's the one in charge. The other day they were trying to remind her that she's a woman, that she shouldn't be in charge. But now I'm happy that all her privileges have been returned to her. And I keep asking people, those that knew the old Buhari, are you telling me that if you are in your house and you're upstairs and there's a gunshot and your wife is being humiliated, you will just sit there and do nothing? Let me tell you, I say, oh, maybe he's incapacitated. Oh, let's 2023 come. He's not feeling well. He's like, you see how people, because you're in a zoo, you're in darkness. You cannot see the truth. You cannot speak the truth. You cannot. Let me tell you what is going on. There's a very simple experiment and it's homework before, because I'm going to run a live AM interactive program on Friday. Just phoning. I won't do anything. People just phoning me. I'll be answering questions on Friday mornings. I'll be doing that now. Let me ask you to do this homework for me, please. Do you know that if you go to Asarok all the time, they will say to you, oh, the governor of Borno State came to visit. Is that correct? Oh, the Upper of Benin came to visit. Oh, the Alafin of Oyo came to visit. Or maybe even Osibajo came to see him. Or Boss Mustafa. Or Ibrahim Gambari. Yes. Let me tell you definitively why there is nobody there. Forget all these boys wearing masks, all these Aisha boyfriends. Rubbish. Do you know the funniest thing? In all these people that went to inside Aso Villa, whatever they call it, you can never hear the person they went to visit speak on camera. What usually happens is that after they've said, Mr. Bala Usman went into Asarok to see Mr. President, and I saw him, and they discussed. They talked about agriculture. They talked about cow. They talked about how many cows in Daura farm. Do you hear the person that went to visit speak? After speaking, the next thing you hear, he's outside giving an interview. You will never hear from the so-called president. I said, check every video this year of the so-called visitors to Asarok. See if there is a one clip. Even when the Africa Development Bank, the guy that stole money, the Yoruba man that stole money at Africa Development Bank, I've forgotten his name, the ADB chairman. He went to see him. They were doing chop knuckle or chop elbow. They are doing elbow pose. You saw the man, the young man, because I'm sure I'm older than him. You saw him after speaking, he left. The person he was doing chop elbow with never spoke a word. And you have 200 million people looking on sheepishly as if everyone is a fool. You know, the reason why you have brain is to think. The reason why you put food in your mouth instead of your backside is because you have brain. Your brain is telling you your mouth is where you put food in. It's simple. When you go to see somebody, you don't hear from the person. They shot at the wife inside the villa. Nobody said a word. They are killing his soldiers. He didn't say anything. Buratai is dead. He never said anything. Osibajo is missing, presumed dead. PPP, you don't hear. And all of you got together. And out of all these, should I say, abundant evidence, you still decided in your brains to say there is a Buhari inside that song. Now you can now see the reason why maybe that was what Flora Shaw saw in you people that led her to name you darkness, nigger. Do you see? They say the name you bear will follow you always. You answer darkness. And darkness has descended on you. Not just metaphorically, but literally. It is there with you. That is why you cannot see. So it's not that Tinubu or Basanjo, the Yoruba ruling class, don't know. They know. They know all these things. But as they sit down, they agonize. If we open up and say what we know, oh, that's Nnamdi Kanu boy, he's insulted, he will take all the credit for it. The world will know he's been right. That is only envy. A black man's envy is holding them. And jealousy. They know Asorok is empty. The whole place is on autopilot. It is in the interest of the neo-colonialists to keep Nigeria one because they love the name darkness. As long as it stops Biafra from coming, that they are okay with it. And for the Tinubu camp, all they want to do is to get to 2023. And then they'll start eating and having fun. That's all. These are black people. That is why Africa is poor. The way we reason, the level of evil in us is why we are down. We have failed to reason. And why is that? Why is a woman is saying, my husband, come and help me from those who have hijacked my husband's government. Help me. You said her husband. Go back to your husband. Your husband is there. It's just like a woman who has been raped, escaped the rapist, ran to you on the road and said, please, sir, help me. I've been raped. You said, no, come on, go back. You've not been raped. That is what Nigerians are doing to Aisha. She's lamenting every day, trying to send code and signal. My husband is no longer here. And I keep asking people, as a man, you that is defending the indefensible, you are living in Abuja, Lagos, Enugu, Iguacha, name it, Kaduna, Zaria. Are you telling me in your own house? Somebody can be insulting your wife in your own house, and you'll be there, and you keep quiet? I don't know the God that made Nigerians. I don't know. Maybe it's that name, that nigger you're answering. It's blocked up your brains. Embassy destroyed. Not a word. Not one word from somebody who is the president. Not one. Hey! You don't know that the destruction of an embassy is like an invasion. They left it to Senate President and the Speaker of the House. And you're telling... I don't know. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to insult anyone today, to be honest. Because I'm very, very upset. I am very, very upset. Now, listen. If you come home and somebody is beating your mother, or if you're abroad and you hear that your mother was kicked out of your house, who would you ask for first? No, where you are now, let's say you're in Russia, or you're in Uzbekistan, you are in Vietnam, you are in China, you are in Japan, you are in USA. Your father is alive, allegedly. Your mother is alive, allegedly. Two of them are living together, maybe somewhere in Asho, in Abuja. And you got a phone call. Oh, that there's a gunshot in your house, so there's people insulting your mother in your house. Who would you call first? Simple question. Who will you call first? You will call your father and you say, Papa or Dad, what are you doing? Are you there and this is happening? It's common sense. What is wrong with black people? Common sense. Common sense. There is nobody there. The husband is dead. That is why they're insulting her. Can't you people reason for once? Hey, my good. Black people. Black people. You ask for your father first. Now, why do you have... Somebody wrote a very compelling piece. I'll get his name later. But I'll use it tonight for this very program. There is something somebody wrote. He called it the silence in Asorok. Not from me, please. I don't plagiarize. When I read from somebody, I say it's from somebody else. This is from somebody. Because I'm learned, I know what it means to produce an academic work. It's not easy. So somebody cannot spend their time researching and producing a work. You just copy it verbatim without giving them credit. That is stealing. Let me see if I can find his name before I can even proceed. Because it is very, very important that I can... He wrote this is very, very compelling. I tell you that. His name is Dr. Asuquo Mendy Achibong. He's a lawyer. Dr. Asuquo Mendy Achibong wrote this very, very brilliant. He wrote it in such a way that people can... because black people don't reason very well. We know that is the truth. We don't reason very well. So he had to try and break this down so that anybody reading it will be able to, maybe at the end of it, put one and one together and get two. Because we have failed to reason very well. Now listen, he titled it The Silence in Asorok. Something is not right, he said. People are no longer afraid of President Buhari, who was a dictator. His wife is not afraid or respectful of him anymore, which is these are my own words now, un-Islamic. You cannot... It is un-Islamic for a wife not to respect the husband, even if she is being abused or battered. That is something you must know. That is something you must know. How unbelievable. Now listen. People are no longer afraid of the president. Anybody can do anything and say anything and get away with it. She is fighting her own staff. Fighting the staff of the people they claim is her husband, and they are fighting back. People are insulting her without fear of the husband. A young boy insulting the first lady. A first lady that allegedly the husband is alive. Are you people kidding me? Yet, he wrote, yet, silence. Nobody's saying anything. But he forgot to say that IPOB is saying something. You know how the zoo works. They don't like giving us credit. But we're okay with it. Strange to have, listen, he said, strange to have gunshots in the seat of federal governance. Presidency is not a location for shooting target practice. A trained officer of the law discharged his weapons in trying to impose the will of Aisha Buhari on another man who simply disregarded her. Yet, silence. Fight in APC. Obaseki frozen out. Chairmen from everywhere. They have about 10 factions now. Chairmen springing out from every cave like mushrooms. Oshomole beaten like small boy. Removed. Katakata everywhere. Obaseki goes to meet Buhari, but diverted to the chief of staff. But he went to see Buhari, but never saw him. Obaseki is not a staff to Buhari. Obaseki leaves PDP. Sorry, he leaves APC to join PDP. But of course, two of them are the same thing because you can change and you can chop and change as you like. Yet there is silence. There is fight in APC. More killings by Boko Haram. Katsina State, the home of the so-called Buhari, who is alive. Remember how foolish we are. If Buhari is to be alive, why is Katsina State on fire? Protests erupting everywhere. Killings of military officers and policemen by Boko Haram. Bandits taking over the north. Kidnapping and killing people. Yet silence. You have service chiefs who are staying. They have stayed way beyond their tenure. Despite being ineffective, They are still in office because nobody to sack them. There is no head of state. They all know the trick. If you call them, they'll tell you, don't allow me to talk. Oh, they say, okay, carry on, carry on, carry on. That's what I'm doing. Damnable zoological republic. You people are damned. Damned, I'm telling you, you're damned. Your ignorance is astonishing. Astonishing, I'm telling you. Frightening. Something is wrong in Asorok. He writes, I don't subscribe to conspiracy theories, but is Aisha hiding something from Nigerians? When he said it's conspiracy theory. Because both those who can spell conspiracy and those who can't spell conspiracy theory. Then bring him out to speak. Where is the Sibajo? Where is it that ordinary secretary to government, Boss Mustafa, is the one giving directive and unelected? I want to stop complaining, honestly, because people are giving, these zoo people that are giving me headache. There is a level of stupidity you will see in people that you begin to wonder that they cannot be human beings. They can never be. They can never be. Honestly speaking, they can never be. Something is wrong in Asorok. Something is off. I know for a fact that no man on earth can insult a Nigerian man's wife and live to boast about it. Talk less of being employed by him who born you. But it happened in Asorok. Asorok is empty. They're afraid of IPOB and the Kano, that's all. They're afraid. If you announce it now that the man is dead, then the Kano will use it to destroy what is left of the zoo. We don't want it. Let's keep hiding. Please, Tinubu, help us. Let's Punch newspaper, Tribune, Nation newspaper, Channels Television, every Yoruba newspaper. Please help us. So we are going to give it to Jagaban. Help us to cover this fraud. Yoruba as a nation is covering up fraud in broad daylight. Fraud in broad daylight. An ordinary, this writer is asking you, Dr. Siko is asking you, or ordinary man, let's say even if you traveled abroad and so you hear on the phone somebody came to your house insulting your wife, your employee, somebody you employed is insulting your wife, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? They can only burn our market. That's all they can do. Even in Cotonou, they're burning our market in Cotonou. I'll get to that later. The man is saying everywhere that is silence everywhere. He said, my hope for Nigeria is beginning to sag. For Nigeria, Niger area is beginning to sag. We must not let Nigeria fail. A typical black educated man. You know that like an accountant that after doing all the calculations, they mess up the total. Very typical. He's a doctor. Dr. Asupo Mendy is a lawyer. He says we must not let what a white man built to fail. That sums up the brain of a black man. When communism ended, they tore down every statue, every roadblock, everything. But it's only in Africa that a white man preserved all the vestiges of colonialism. Only blacks can do that. No other race can. He's a lawyer, PhD perhaps. After writing this brilliant piece, he said, in a country where Miyetti Allah is a stakeholder in the government, but the fourth largest and most deadliest terrorist group in the world, he is saying, we must not let Nigeria fail. Do you know why? Because he lives in Abuja. That is how blacks reason. Oh dear. But the zoo is gone. I'm telling you the truth. Now in Nigeria, they know it has collapsed. They know it very well. They are just waiting for me to make a move. That's all. The zoo is gone. And we are going to make one soon. That's all they are waiting for. Let Nnamdi Kanu make that move. That will collapse the zoo. Oh dear. Zoo is finished. It's finished. That is, how are you going? I said to them, You can walk up to any Nigerian ambassador now, to any Nigerian embassy, you can set it on fire. Nothing will happen to you. Because Nigeria doesn't exist anymore. Do you know why they're hiding? Do you know why you can now? Do you know why you can go? All of you that are holding your passport, they don't want to give it. You can go to the nearest Nigerian embassy and beat up their staff now, and you go free. Do you know why? Because once you're taken to court, you will name the Nigerian president as a witness, and he will not come. Nobody will represent him. Why do you think they bulldoze down the embassy? They know there's no president. So people keep deceiving themselves every day. They keep deceiving themselves. They know there is nobody there. They know Buhari is dead. Bring the Saudi Arabia. Abakari took over and died. And any Fulani man, any con, not just Fulani, anybody from the Sharia states, once they name you the substantive president, you will die. That's why Osibanjo ran away. I don't know if they found him in Banana Island and killed him. I don't know. Have you heard from him? Maybe tomorrow you see a punch this way. Osibanjo commissions trader money. Did you see with your two eyes? Who has seen Buhari with his two eyes? A president that cannot give live interview. A president who cannot appear live on TV. A president whose wife is being... Nobody's wife, not even in your home, will you allow people to insult your wife like that. But in the zoo, everything is okay. Do you see why I call Nigeria a zoo? It's not an insult. I'm even elevating you. You are nigger, black. An insultive word. A pejorative word. That is your name, and you answer it with pride. Even those with PhD, Nigerians, all of you. Niggers everywhere. I know people are listening all over the world, even those in America, they'll be cringing. Oh, but daddy, he's calling us nigger. Tell your child your name is nigger. You're from Nigeria. Tell your child in America, in Europe, sorry darling, our name is actually nigger, you know. And if I'm that white man that was beaten up by a black man in Minnesota for calling him a nigger, I will sue him. I will sue the black man. We'll go to court and he'll pay me damages. I will simply argue that how can he say, I saw him, he looks like a Nigerian to me, Your Honor. And the Nigerian is nigger. I call him nigger. To recognize him as a Nigerian, I call him a nigger. That's their name. The case will be dismissed and he'll be awarded compensation. Right now, today, because of Nigeria and Niger Republic, anybody can call any black man nigger. And if I see a black man, if I see them, I call them nigger. Let them touch me. I'll take them to court. And then the court, I will tell you. Are you now telling me that to answer the name of my country is bad? The name of my country is nigger. And that's what I'm answering. And I saw him, he looked like a Nigerian, and I called him nigger. After the answer Niger, what's Niger? Niger is nigger. You call yourself Niger. It's nigger. You have nigger FM, Niger FM, which is nigger FM. In the zoo. They are playing with us. You don't know how intelligent we are. They say they boast so much. They're arrogant. Why won't I boast? I'm learned. Why won't I boast? Why shouldn't I be boastful? I went to school. I studied and I read. And on top of that, God gave me common sense, which most of you lack, unfortunately. I'm not insulting anyone, please, because if I say the way it is on my mind, we won't live here today. There is a video I'm going to play for you to confirm that there is nobody in Asarok, that Buhari is dead. Simple video from inside Asarok. I'm only asking you to engage your brain cells. Ask your brain cells to be working. Pray now, before I play this clip, that your brain cells are working. Ask God in heaven, please, give me common sense now to listen to this clip and reveal to me the truth. From this clip now, you will know that there is nobody in Asarok. Everywhere is empty. Everywhere is empty. And this is what Yoruba... You see my problem, I love most of them. Maigo is doing a very good job. You know? Paya Debanjo is doing a very good job. There's one or two of them. Professor Kinto is doing a very good job. But they are very few and far between. These are people with these are learned men and women in Yoruba land, learned, Can't you speak the truth for once, for goodness sake? We are not going to disgrace the zoo before the Nigerians. Nigger. Well, I'm about to disgrace you before they have come again. These people have come again. I'm not going to deviate from what I'm doing. I'm not going to deviate in any way, shape, or form. I know they'll keep calling. They don't understand. They do not understand. They don't understand at all, at all, at all. I'm going to play this so that the world may know that the zoo is finished. Listen very carefully, please. Listen.
His Royal Majesty Omonoba Nedo Okwa-Polopolo, AY the second Oba of Benin, and the chairman of the Edo State Council of Traditional Rulers and Chiefs.
These people, they keep calling. I don't know who these people are.
Arrived the forecourt of the Asoro Presidential Villa at 2:45 p.m. The Oba and his team of monarchs were received by the secretary to the government.
The Oba of Benin went to go and see the Phantom Buhari. That maybe they brought the skeleton from Saudi Arabia. Please listen. I'm no longer going to say anything. Listen carefully, please, until the end. Listen.
Of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, who ushered them into the council chambers. Shortly, they were joined by President Muhammadu Buhari. Speaking, the Benin monarch tasked the president to urgently wade into the crisis between APC national leader Adams Oshomole and the state governor Godwin Obaseki.
Mr. President, we, those states, to pray to Almighty God, indulgence to harm of Mr. President.
When the president was about
BEDC in the provision of power to electricity consumers in Edo State,
who accompanied the
has worsened.
When the president was about to speak, journalists were told to go out as he would be responding off camera. After
Zoological Republic. Have you heard it? They brought out somebody wearing a mask, Aisha's boyfriend. When it was time for the so-called Buhari, which is Aisha's boyfriend wearing a mask, to respond to the Omonoba, Oba of Benin, they asked all the pressmen to leave the room. But when the Oba was speaking, the pressmen were there. When the Oba arrived with his chiefs in council, Boss Mustafa, the secretary to the government, went to receive them, brought them into the chambers. And somebody wearing Buhari mask came out, of course, Aisha's boyfriend, the latest one, came out. And after the Benin monarch must have finished speaking, when it was time, a whole president of the people, when it was now time for the president to respond to the monarch, all the pressmen were asked to leave the room. What other proof do you need that I'm right, that there is no Buhari? I love that beat. I want to hear it again, please. Do you know what? They don't know what IPO. They have no idea who we are. Do they? I don't think they do. Complete decimation of the zoo. Everybody with a hand in Operation Python Dance will die. All of them, they will die. Every major planner of Operation Python Dance that came to my house, that led to the death of my parents, my men died, they will all die. Watch and see what is going to happen. Let us go back a little bit, please. Just a tiny bit. To hear it. Because most zoo animals won't believe this. I want to prove to you that there is no Buhari. This simple, even if it's just this clip that I'll just play tonight, I think it's even enough. Listen, this journalist is very, very brave. Very brave. They didn't remember to bribe him on time. Let us try again.
They are told to go out as he would be
Listen.
The situation has worsened.
When the president was about to speak, journalists were told to go out as he would be responding off camera.
Have you heard of such? Somebody you voted for, you claim you voted for, in a democracy. As if people, you don't see Trump every day. You don't see Kofi Zita, Dada, no, of Ghana. You don't see other presidents. Somebody came to see you. If you know you're going to be responding off camera, why did you invite the cameras in the first place? Tomorrow you see somebody with a PhD or a professor of nuclear science, emeritus, living in a Abacha. He will come out and write, hey, I want Nigeria. Hey, I'm writing now to the president of Nigeria. Hey, president, you cannot respond to ordinary, I wouldn't say ordinary because I respect the Benin monarchy. I do a lot. I love the institution. So somebody who will just respond, a monarch came, a first-class monarch came to see the president, so-called. Aisha brought out the lover because Aisha changed. I think she changes men now. I think every 9. We are still researching it. It's 9 months or so. I'm not sure. To get the new one, representing something that is just evil in Islam. That's what she's practicing, and that's why little boys are insulting her. Have you seen it? Have you seen it? That there is no Buhari. Have you seen it? When it's time for the president to respond, journalists were asked to leave. He will respond off camera. Zoo. Now, I want to say this to anybody. Ever since we discovered who these people are, have they ever made a live broadcast before? No. Capital, no. When Oshibajo visited Asorok, can anybody find the video? Please send it to Amaka to post. Or if someone can find it, please. When Oshibajo went to Asorok, did you hear the person he went to see speak? No. When Buratai, they claim Buratai went there, of course it's Photoshop. Buratai went there 2 weeks ago and came out and spoke. Did you see who he met? Did that person speak? No. Then how can you say you have a president? How? Nigeria. Yet, every blessed day, they'll be writing, insecurity, details of meeting between Buratai and senior officers, operational commanders revealed on the pages of. It's just like on everything. You never see them. They don't exist. But if they can rustle up maybe 4,400, they find a journalist and then you still pass with you know that bag you know those journalists one at none. They find them and give them 4,400 and ask them to bring them change. They write rubbish. They don't exist. They don't exist. But if you pay journalists, they will write for you. They don't exist at all. Just on paper. You know, there's some journalists who don't want to know. There's some journalists who are in serious pain in the zoo. Some of them are very good, in serious pain. They're looking for money to parent. And he tell them I have press release, so I want to. They said I should tell you, Boss Mustafa said I should tell you to write about Buratai's meeting with officers. No video. No, you are fighting a major war. There should be daily press briefing every day from defense headquarters. Every day. They say, I wanted to write, say, Buratai don't attend meeting. Oh, correct, sir. You send me that your account number. I don't forget them. Democracy in the heart of darkness in Nigeria. Oh dear me. We must preach this gospel. And what time is it now? Is approximately, let's say 5 minutes roughly. 5 minutes to 9 p.m. I must preach. Please allow me to preach. Allow me to preach, please. The Borno State governor was there. Nobody heard Aisha's boyfriend speak. That is why I want this thing posted, please. No amount of evidence will ever convince an idiot, Mark Twain said. Post it, please. No amount of evidence will convince once somebody is an idiot, that person is an idiot for life. And on top of that, your name is darkness, nigger. There's trouble now. No amount. I will just prove it to them now. If that person is a human being, Why did you ask the media? Because they know Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, we are watching. If he appears on camera, we tear them to pieces. We drove them away. If not for IPOB, they'll be deceiving you with Photoshop. It is because of IPOB. That is why they cannot show any nonsense on television. They know we shred them. This is how powerful we are. We are not in your league. We are not. We can never be in your league. That little data you have through, is it Airtel or whatever, you can be marking your rubbish as always, talking rubbish that nobody wants to hear. Because our people are is it? Is that correct? After the strain and the pressure of the work we do, sometimes we need a little bit of gossip here and there to divert our attention, to play a little bit with one choncho gossip. That's all. Nobody takes you seriously. Nobody. Now our people are informed. Now they know. As I'm speaking to you, the entire Iguacha is listening live on FM. That's how formidable we are. So your little video watched by 600 people, it makes no difference to us. We watch it out of fun, to just see something different, to hear how somebody is gossiping. That's all. Me too, sometimes I listen. Because sometimes all this pressure, you want a little bit of gossip to lighten things a little bit, to make you laugh. No amount of evidence will convince an idiot. If after tonight anybody rises up to say, I am Niger Delta, you know they are working for the caliphate and they are ashamed of themselves because we have defeated them. Did you go to war? Only common sense and reason. Now they're on the run. Their masters have called them. Hey, what are you doing? And you are there. Hey, madam, you are there. You're no longer using Niger Delta. Did you hear what Nnamdi Kanu said? Nnamdi Kanu said nobody is proud of Niger Delta anymore. Oh yeah, we are Niger Delta now. We are Niger Delta. Asking, looking for money from Janjaweed the Fulani. They think we are stupid. They think we are dumb. Niger Delta, my fruit. Darkness, you are. And it shows in your brain. It shows in our environment in southern Biafra. You can see it there very clearly. How dark. People are being poisoned. Are you aware of that? I'll read it for you tonight so you will know what is going on there. That they will never tell you about. You think this is militancy, stomach militancy. We are here to fight for freedom. We are not militants, freedom. And it's coming. And you will see it. If you're a foreign contractor and Nigerians are owing you money, now is the time to seize their embassy and demolish their buildings. If you're a contractor anywhere in the world, maybe you have printed passports for them, because some of you don't know that your passports are printed abroad anyway. That was the contract they gave to the. You know what what Nigeria did is to share all the huge contracts and give it to countries all over the world. Israel has a contract, defense contract. Russia has a contract, defense contract, and also this e-bot, which is this computer-generated attack system they have to attack IPOB and all that. They're paying very well for it. Britain gets oil for free. Everybody has something they're getting. Do you know the Irish Republic? That is where they print Nigerian passports. In Ireland. So there is no printing press in Nigeria that can print a booklet of your passport. And you're the giant of Africa. So when they share all these things, so that when you now go to Ireland to talk about Biafra, that company that makes money from Nigeria will now lobby their government and say, oh, don't listen to IPOB, please, because if you do, we'll lose this multi-million-dollar contract from Nigeria. That's how it works. They did it to me in Israel. And you know us now. The worst they can ever do is to try and stop us. We just continue. And we continued. Until we got to the people that we're looking for. That's the way it is. So anytime, that is why when I look at people, when they sit in the zoo, when somebody is maybe carrying a file or saying, they're talking about Biafra, I look at them as mad people. If you're seriously asking or agitating for Biafra, you will go to places where you will be rejected. And you'll be asking yourself, but why? Until somebody will tell you the contract that Nigeria gave to that country. And the big companies, just like in Germany, once you go to Germany to lobby, no, we want one Nigeria. Why? Because Siemens are there, Julius Berger is there. and these people, they fund lawmakers. So German people that go to the Bundestag, we have gone back to my page, and I believe it is live once again. We have gone back to my page. We have gone back. I have not seen anybody there. Yes, people are coming back as usual. They are coming back. It's up now, I believe. The page is up now. Jocelyn is in UAE. Jocelyn is in UAE. She wrote that my page is not on. I am back on now. Mesomachi, thank you very much. I am back on. We are Frankie, thank you very much. Kennedy Wogo, thank you very, very much. We are back on air. We are back on my page. Ugu Michael Okenna, the engineer, thank you very much. And also, Wanyoma is listening from USA. Juliet said, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are live and we are direct. And mankind is bearing us witness. I will go back to what I was saying before. I was rudely and unceremoniously interrupted by Facebook. We must go back. Yes, Carlos, everybody, of course. Nobody should move to another platform. Go back to my page. Go back to Facebook. We must show them how resilient we are, how stubborn we are. We go back and we continue. We must continue. Because Chukwu Kikabiam is in heaven, presiding over the whole Africa is vibrating. The whole of Africa is vibrating, I'm telling you. The whole of Africa is vibrating right now as we speak. People are back. I am going to return to what I was saying before the rude interruption. Do you know what the zoo called Nigeria, do you know what they do? Every country of the world, they go there, they identify a company, and they give them a contract. In a country of 200 million people, common passport that any printer can print, they gave that contract to an Irish company. Do you know why they did it? So that if we know all those Irish, conscientious Irish Reverend, Catholic Reverend fathers that always fight for Biafra. So if we go now and we are lobbying, let me tell you how it works. It's a secret. I'm going to say it out so the world can hear it. That is why when somebody sits somewhere, they're telling you they're fighting for Biafra, or you're walking around with a file, and I'm telling you, they're talking rubbish. Nonsense. They are not fighting for Biafra. Because we know what we suffer on a daily basis. Each time you go to Ireland to go and lobby the Irish government to support Biafra, they will tell you, oh, there is a very valid case for Biafra. We can understand, you fought a war and the rest of it. But come back again. When you come back again, you will hear that it is in our interest to keep Nigeria as one. Because in the intervening period, the company that publishes or that prints your passport booklet, if you are a zoo animal, that is a nigger from the zoo, that passport you're holding, go to your green passport now. It was not printed in Nigeria. That nigger, no, it was printed in the Irish Republic in Ireland. So with that, the company that prints it will make sure that Biafra will not be discussed. If you go to Germany, the same thing. No matter how hard you try to get to Angela Merkel and to get the German government to do what is right, the same way they supported Bosnia-Herzegovina to break away from Yugoslavia, they will tell you no. Because the Germans are benefiting through lucrative contracts from Siemens and also Julius Berger. Big money, huge money. And Julius Berger doesn't get paid cash. So you see the second Niger bridge that Julius Berger is building, or so they claim they're building. All that money that was agreed will be given to Julius Berger in oil. Julius Berger doesn't take cash. They take oil instead. And let's say that River Niger is, let's say, for argument's sake, say 400 million barrels of oil was agreed. Because there is, when I told you there is no meter at the pump head where they load oil, you never believe me until the Ziani confirmed it. Now, because there is no meter at the pump head, let me tell you why Julius Berger wants to be paid. Any smart company will tell Nigeria, the zoo, in fact, Nigeria, to pay them with crude oil. Because there is no meter. Now you have agreed to give Julius Berger 400 million barrels of oil for the construction of Second Niger Bridge. When Julius Berger goes there, they will take 200 million barrels. Do you know why? Because there is no meter. That is why they don't want Nigeria to break. No sensible, corrupt government in the West. By which are all of them. Nobody was. Italy is there with Egypt. Sorry, with Egypt, yes. France is there with ELF. America has Halliburton. They have Mobile. Very huge in Akwa Ibom. Are you following me? Britain is, of course, they're just taking oil for free. Every country, every major country of the world has a contract. And those companies, when you go to lobby that country, those companies will come out and say no. Tell their government, we are making money from these people. Why do you want Nigeria to break? And then God said to me, because I went to all these meetings and some of them accepted to do something, and I do something now that Trump is there. And the others were saying, no, we want Nigeria to be one. God said, I'm going to break Nigeria through another means. He told me, I'll break it through another means. And today we are saying it. And now that is why they are panicking. And their friends are telling them, try and keep the death of Buhari a secret, please, until 2023. Please try. And that is why the Yoruba media is getting more money every day. Channels, television. Tinubu is making more money. And more money than he can ever spend all his life. And his next 20 generations. To keep it a secret. So that the zoo won't bet it's too late now. They know it's too late. That's what happened. So I'm sure that our brother will be happy because I have gone back to where I stopped. I've gone back to where I stopped. I told people, I told them, I want to, go back to my old broadcast and bring them out for me. I told our people, Biafran people, that a time will come when your mothers will be raped, when your daughters will be abducted. I've said it over many years ago. Is it not happening today? Look at all, and please publish the pictures, all the dead bodies that litter our farms, our farm roads, our villages. People come to our land and they kill us. They come to our land and they kill us. Nobody's saying anything. They are waiting for IPOB. But do you know why they cannot do anything? It's guilty conscience. These are the people that brought Operation Python dance. Those that killed our men. That led to the death of my parents. When I launched a security outfit, they came, all of them. What? Not knowing that the Fulani cabal, telling them to disassociate themselves from me and IPOB, we are planning something greater. They were planning to invade us. And I told Modo that these people are coming. In his house in Enugu. I told Modo, when I went to ADF meeting, Ali Igbo Development Foundation, I told them that these people are coming. They are coming. They are coming. And today they have come. And out of shame, they don't know how to say, oh, we are sorry for what we did. Please forgive us. Raise an army to defend our land. Because they know we have the men. Of course we have them. Under one command. Call this army to stand and defend us. They are ashamed. That is why people are being killed everywhere. I know someone says, but why don't you do something? Why wait for them? No. All of you were there when the army came to my house to kill me. Because I spoke the truth. Because I told you to be prepared. You all kept quiet. All of you kept quiet. I lost 28 men, my cousin, my parents, and my dog, Jack. And you keep deceiving yourselves that Buhari is there. But you know he is not. That is why I maintain that the zoo will implode this year. The zoo cannot pass this year. It will implode this year. If they either do it peacefully or they do it, in pieces. But this year it must collapse this year. We can't allow the zoo to go into 2021. It's impossible. Impossible. We must do it this year. Because men are dying. Look at Publish those pictures and tag people. Let them go to my page and see it. What is happening in your homes? All of you are now too ashamed because you don't want to speak about it. Has Ohanese spoken about the killings of our people? How about Pandev? No. How about your governors? Yes, those that plan to kill me. How about those reverend fathers that went to Nike Lake Resort to plan my death and my assassination? Most of the bishops you have in Igbo land, they were there to collect money from Ike to kill me. Nike Lake Resort. Ask them. Ask Archbishop Chukwuma, Anglican Communion in Enugu. Were you there or not? Because when I push you, I'll show you where to fall. If I mention an incident, I will give you names of people to ask. Archbishop Chukwuma, were you at the meeting where I was betrayed or not? Yes or no? Nike Lake Resort. And they say we have no respect for elders. The elders that hanged up to kill me. And as a result of the trauma, my parents died. My men died. You want me to respect them? Allow me to come to your house and kill your father and your mother, kill your friends and your relatives, and then see the way you will react to me. These are the real killers of our people. Ohanese. And we can never forgive them. Never. Never forgive them. Never. Because they're evil. They're evil. Because of them, our people are dying. Can you imagine if they are still behind us then? To say what these people are doing is correct. It's proof to us that you're sincere. They never, and I warned them. They traveled to Enugu that time. The Sultan went to Enugu to go and ask him, are you people here? What are you doing? Stop him now. They can't. You must stop him now. You must stop him now. But now that the Fulanis are killing your people, has the Sultan come back to ask you how far? But you claim you're intelligent. I must preach this gospel. And people are answering Niger Delta. We are Niger Delta. There is a Daily Times publication. I'm sure all of you have it. I want you to go. This is for the saboteurs in the southern part of Biafra, in his zone especially. I don't know what is wrong with a John. They always produce hardened saboteurs. Hardcore sabo. Heavy saboteurs always come from his zone. I don't know why. Maybe because Pigo came from there as well. The light of Biafra is from there. Maybe Satan must be there. All you saboteurs from a Joland is Sabo. This is for you. Daily Times publication. Tuesday, 25 of April, 1967. The way your useless, satanic Niger Delta came about. Created by one man. As a threat, should I say as a blackmail. If Biafra tries to break away, we will create Cross River, Ogoja and River State. So when you stand up and talk rubbish, nonsense about River State, rubbish was created by God. Not by God in heaven, but by a murder, a mass murder. Shame on all of you. I say shame on all of you. Talking rubbish, River State, Niger Delta. Shame on all of you. Something that God created. You have no shame, have no class, you have no dignity. Bunch of harlots everywhere. No dignity, no honor. You claim you went to school, but you cannot reason very well. It was created to divide you. Here is the proof. Daily Times, April 25, 1967. Your useless Niger Delta was created to divide us. You animals cannot reason. You can't. You're making stupid video, looking like a pig, talking rubbish. Because your brains are empty. Your masters paying you money from the north. They press you. Oh, you are there, and IPOB is waxing strong. Say something. There's your hair. Fools everywhere. You're challenging people who are more intelligent than you. a lowly IPOB officer would demolish all of you in any debate. Not to talk of DOS. And then you come to me. You will be demolished. They said in the world and all these Efulefus, they went to go and do a lawsuit out of shame. And I want to ask anybody who is reasonable, why wouldn't you want to go to court to go and institute a lawsuit with Edwin Clark? Out of shame. Your people are dying, and the only thing you can do is to file a court case asking for damages of their own share will be maybe around 17 billion naira. Not even dollars. You did not mention people who are dying. You did not mention Miyetti Allah terrorists killing people. What concerns you? Your main concern is money. Let's go to a court and ask for money. Because I don't see any greater strategy behind all this whole court nonsense. There were other fools that said they wanted to go to court to fight for Biafra. It's been adjourned till today. It's an adjournment. So how can you get justice? Barack Obama went to court to go and challenge this dichotomy between the North and the South in terms of unity schools, cutoff mark. The same cutoff mark. The case is in court, but the same cutoff mark. If you score 2 from Yobe, you go to unity school. From Anambra, you have to score 138. But he's in court. The same court he went to. Where a Sharia man is the Chief Justice, give you all this adjournment after adjournment until the kingdom come. Because you're guilty. No, you stand up to it because you are guilty. If you want to do activism, you come out on the street and lead a protest. Even Edwin Clark, I will come and wheel his wheelchair for him. Then we'll go and protest. That's what men do. Not going to which court are you going to? I'm not even going to bother reading the nonsensical lawsuit. They say they fired. People are jumping up and down in court. Isn't that was the case not adjourned? Adjournment after adjournment? Can you get anything out of it? Are we not in court? You said we're not in court in the zoo. By virtue of this lawsuit, all the southern leaders and Middle Belt have publicly confirmed what I said from the onset. That Nigeria runs a system of apartheid. That Niger territory called Nigeria runs a system of apartheid. That's the confirmation. Because you're going to court to enforce a constitutional provision, which means that people are in breach of the core principles of the Constitution, which on its own is an impeachable offense, if you don't know. So rather than going to court and talking rubbish, you go to your senators and let them table a motion of impeachment. It's apartheid. Don't you know that? Oh, sorry, this is black apartheid on a black man, so it doesn't count. If it is white people, will be writing rubbish all over the world. Black against black, not a problem. If apartheid can be dismantled, why not this apartheid now in the zoo called Nigeria? Why can't this apartheid be dismantled? Why not, I ask? Why not? And I also want to please post that very newspaper caption of, or should I say, a cutout of what our leader said, our eternal leader, who is Dim the general. He said, I believe Ohaneze cannot give political leadership to Ndibo. It can give sociocultural leadership. There must be opening up to allow the evolution of a political organization. I'm quite disappointed with Ohaneze, and I say it openly, from Chukwu, our general and our leader, the Biafran leader. Eternal. Eternal, I said. I don't want to make noise. When Biafra comes, they will see what it means to honor him. I don't want to be making noise. Go and get 2 trips of sand, mold block with Dangote cement, rubbish. When we build a monument to him, the whole world will marvel. I don't want to make noise about it, but you will see. Our general, Ohaneze is useless. From the useless to the core. You're going to court. And has anyone ever come out to say, I'm angry, our people are dying? Look at the pictures on my wall, on my Facebook page. Has Ohanese ever come out to say, I am angry? You know, Guta they killed, you know, Kikwe they killed, in Mbano they killed, in Anambra, the body of a woman scattered all over the place. They cannot say it because they're compromised. That's how you know a Sabo. When it comes talking about Nam, they can, hey, they jump out. But talk about that thing that affects everybody, no? No. Because once they say it, their masters from the Fulani Caliphate will call them on the phone and ask them, oh boy, what are you doing there? Don't you know that already? I must preach, please. Thanks to Nyanwodo and Igbo governors who couldn't fight Fulani terrorism, our people are now being picked up one after. In fact, they even it's because of them. Do you know there are those that came to my house, my parents' burial on the 14th of February, they're still in prison? You know why? Are you aware of that? Because some people that were in prison paid a bribe to the state prosecutor in Abia State. He was charging 100,000 each. And I said, I won't pay him any money. These people came for burial. My parents' burial. Do you know they're still in prison till today? People that came for burial. And they were charged with terrorism for attending my parents' burial. I'm saying it because the day our madness will start, you know, you are gossipers by name, you love gossiping. You will start from the beginning. You cut the story from halfway and start gossiping away your lives. People came to my house for burial, my parents' burial. The state prosecutor in Abia State, in connivance with Abia State government, arrested people that came for burial in my house. Locked them up till today. The state prosecutor, the DPP, is asking for money. Because we made the mistake, somebody made the mistake, or an IPOB member or members made the mistake of paying money to them. Now they're asking for money. In Abia State, the day I will give the order and the madness will start, all of you gossipers, all of you professional gossipers, you won't start the story from the beginning. You cut it from the middle. I'll give you their names of those that are holding. Ume Sunday is in prison. In Africa, as a matter of fact. Kamal Ifeanyi is in prison. God's Time Stanis Lanus is in prison. Donatus Okeke is in prison. Chukwudinaka Omena is in prison. Jonathan Oleta is in prison. Chidebere Nwoha is in prison. Ebere Chiemeka is in prison. Chimezie Paul is in prison. Kingsley Ozowale is in prison. He's actually an equal man. Kingsley Ozowale. Ikechukwu Vincent is in prison. They came for my parents' burial. And they've been in prison since the 14th of February till now. No crime committed. Because they attended the burial of my parents according to Ohaneze Ndi Igbo. According to Igbo governors, they are terrorists. But Fulani will come to our land and kill a woman and cut her body up into 8 pieces. And they go scot-free. They're not terrorists. Nobody talks about them. People that came to bury my parents that the Nigerian army killed are terrorists. Do you see why we are the way we are? And what is the name of the man that is holding them hostage? What is the name of this man that is holding our people hostage? I must find his name. I must give it to the whole world to know that these are people, these are Igbo people, Igbo. They never prosecute Fulanis killing their people. Anywhere they see IPOB, they want to make money with IPOB by arrest. These are Igbo people. These are Biafran people in the police. In the police. Whereas in the same zoo they're in, the Fulani army officer and police will give guns to their people to go and kill Biafran people. Those defending Biafra land will be arrested by Biafran policemen and women and locked up. I hope you're following. I hope all of you are following what is happening. Do you now understand the mess we are in? Do you now understand the mess we are in as a people? And they are holding them hostage until we pay money. until we pay money. That only then will they be released, until we pay money. Do you know who is holding them hostage? I'm just saying it so people will know, the whole world will know, that these are the evil people that we have. Such people cannot enter here. This is the state. Fulani is killing in Niger State. In Niger State. Okay, Zipas hasn't done anything about it. But people that came for burial going home, they're in prison. They're terrorists. I don't know. I can't explain this. His name is V.O. Chukwu. He is the Deputy Director of Ministry of Justice in Omaya. He's a child of Satan. And he will not go free. I swear before God and man, he will not go free. This type of human beings should not see Biafra. He's an evil man. He's not an Hausa man, no. Not Fulani, not Yoruba. These are Igbo men. Igbo men using IPOB to extract money. Igbo judges, Igbo magistrates using IPOB to make money. When Fulani are killing, nobody's talking. Mr. Chukwu, V.O. Chukwu, the Deputy Director. There is one called Kanem Glory. These are the police prosecutors. Kanem Glory, you have not seen Fulani to arrest. It's IPOB fighting for your life that you are arresting. Do you see how maybe this evil from and Igbo governors has, this is how evil, that is why Fulani is making use of, you messing us up because of this type of brain we have. I'm just saying it so that when it happens, nobody will say we have no. You know our people, they love to talk rubbish. You see them writing about IP. I have seen there's only another person from Abuja writing. Before I used to ignore this what IPOB is doing, but now I'm serious. He will never write about the killings of his people. And when did it start that we now hate ourselves so much that people are being killed by the Fulani? Nobody wants to talk. But you can write about IPOB and yap about IPOB and rant about IPOB all you like. But never about the people who are dying at the hands of the Fulani. Oh dear me. Very sad indeed. We must preach this very gospel. We need to preach it. And let me tell you something. I said I'm not going to insult anybody today, maybe even going forward, but I am distressed. If I ask you now, where do you have the greatest concentration of insecurity, what would you say? You say maybe Northeast, in the North, banditry, Boko Haram, Miet Yala, all this. But do you know that in Anambra, the police has taken over a community? This same police cannot take over a community in Brono. They cannot take over a community in Yobe. They have not taken over a community in Adamawa. Why are all these things? I keep asking myself, okay, what is wrong with our people? Why are these governors allowing these things to happen? I don't understand my people. Why must police come into Achala and Oromco in Oka North to take over our land? Why? I ask, why? Can somebody please tell me? What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us as a people? What is wrong with us? Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And instead of us to talk about this, we are busy suing a dead man. Buhari is dead and they know it. The case are being caught adjournment after adjournment till the kingdom come. Why are people lying to themselves? Why are people lying? Anyway, of course, remember Kemi Adeosun, have you forgotten? The former finance minister that forged her certificate. Maybe that was where they got all these forgery from, these skills to forge. A country that is steeped in criminality, with some pastors that are insane and pseudo-intellectuals. Elders who are there and evil is happening, they cannot speak. Our people are being killed. But IPOB is a terrorist organization. People come for burial and are going home, you arrest them. If I give orders now, this Chukwu, this state prosecutor in Abia, this prosecutor in Abia, if I give the order now that his family should be taken, all of you will start talking rubbish Oh, Nnamdi Kanu is a kidnapper. He has done it. Now he has kidnapped people from my house, going home. None of you have said a word. And he has the temerity to ask to be paid. This is why we don't give bribe to the zoo, DPP, or police. I have warned IPOB family members. I have warned them. If you are arrested, we don't give any bribe. We go to court until the case is dismissed. We don't give bribe to anybody. You see what this nonsense has cost? Now they want money from everybody. Because some people went and paid money to be released. If you go to Femi Adesina's page, Femi Adesina, the chief, the master forger, you will see all the people that came to Asorok. There is no video, no confirmation anybody was seen. Or seen talking to whoever they claim they went to see in the name of Buhari. All they care about is Nnamdi Kanu is against Christianity. I have spent, the Christian Association of Nigeria has no Twitter handle. All they care about is to take your tithe and your offering and go and buy private jet. I said they have a whole can that their members are being slaughtered. They have common Twitter handle they don't have. Christian Association of Nigeria, no Twitter handle. I checked and I couldn't see any. I am the one that tweet and inform world leaders about what is happening in the zoo to Christians in zoo, Nigeria. I am the one that does it. You don't give me your money, do you? Christians. You give it to your pastors and they buy private jets. They preach nonsense to you. They mess you up. The Fulanis will come and kill you and they won't talk. All that bothers them is tithe, and people think I cannot preach the truth. Who gave birth to that dog? They said I cannot. Who are you? Who are you? I cannot preach the truth. I'm Nnamdi Kanu. Who told you that I won't preach the truth? I went to court and I called Buhari when he was alive. I called him a madman in his court. And it is you, I cannot tell the truth. Who gave birth to you? We are the ones spending our money fighting for Christians who are persecuted in the zoo called Nigeria. I give the order and we spend this money huge every month fighting for you. Some of you ingrates. Some of you ungrateful Christians, I would say. Ungrateful, illiterate, badly educated. The amount of money I spend in a month fighting for you, all of your daddy GOs have not spent it in a whole year. Do they fight for you? Where have they been before to discuss Christian persecution in Nigeria? It is IPOB that is doing it. IPOB, yes. For your information. Let me listen to what a man of God has to say about some of you who are ignorant. It is not me. I'm sure this is Tunde Bakari. Is that correct? Yes. Listen to him. Listen to him.
According to his riches in glory.
Listen.
And then end up buying my own private jet.
Private jet.
No, my own God is different.
Tunde Bakari is saying that you don't give him money to buy private jet. He said his own God is different. I did not hear people attacking him. Yoruba media did not attack Tunde Bakari for saying this. But if it's Nnamdi Kanu, every idiot, every thumb, every cockroach talking rubbish. Tunde Bakari castigating those who buy private jets. Are you not listening? Or have you gone deaf?
And then end up buying my own private jet. No, my own God is different. He does not supply anybody's needs for them to contribute it into the pockets of robbers and marauders.
He called his fellow pastors robbers. Tunde Bakari called fake pastors, he called them robbers. God cannot give you money to give to a fake pastor. That's what Tunde Bakari is saying. I know some of you, you are black, you're from Africa, your brain is a bit funny. I'm not sure you can reason this thing through properly. You won't hear what Tunde Bakari said, but you hear what Nnamdi Kanu said, yes? I'm telling you what Tunde Bakari said. Listen, please.
which the flock of God, the people of our nation, have been endlessly and relentlessly beaten. The hottest part of hell is reserved for preachers who take advantage of the people of God.
Are you listening? The hottest part of hell is reserved for preachers who are on private jets, taking advantage of the poor. Are you listening? This is from a pastor, a preacher of the word of God, Tunde Bakari. I'm sure that is him. I don't know where he's going. I don't know why he's saying all but he's not saying it. I did not hear Yorubas attack him. If you see Igbo people, Biafra, he was shooting their mouth like popcorn. Brain without control. A Yoruba pastor saying what most of you don't want to hear. You can't castigate him. Just like the same way that the Fulanis are killing us, none of you can talk. You're waiting for Nnamdi Kanu to give order, for IPOB to fight back. And I'm here, and I won't give that order. I won't give it. I won't give the order. I will not. Tunde Bakari said, have you seen headline? Tunde Bakari hates Christians. Tunde Bakari is against pastors. Tunde Bakari is antichrist. Because he's Yoruba. I feel sorry for you people. That is fraud in the zoo. EFCC, as I told you. Magu is corrupt. Did I not say it on Radio Biafra here that he's corrupt? I will do that mess later on. I'm too upset with our people, the way they reason. Let me bring this program to an end, please. I have a few announcements to make. It has come to our knowledge that some coordinators are administering group oaths. We don't take oaths by group. It's one person after the other, please. And we also understand that some people are not doing things the way they're supposed to be. Please, you must follow our procedure. If you're relinquished of your position, you leave your position, please, and rejoin. Don't be saying that the national coordinator gave me something else to do. That type of nonsense is for Zoo, Nigeria. Because in Biafra land, you may lose election. And once you lose, you just go to your house, you congratulate your opponent, you go to your house and you sit down. All this nonsense, I won't have it. I won't. But all the same, I thank all of you from all over the world who listen to us this very evening. Everything we say is born out of love and not hate. Everything we try to do is motivated by our overriding desire to create a wonderful and a beautiful nation called Biafra. That the world, our children, even those who died in the course of this very struggle will be very proud of. We must remember those that died, and for their sake, we must continue to push ahead until Biafra is restored. We are not doing it because we want people to be poor, to be begging for visa to visit Biafra land, to be able to survive. No. We are doing it because it is the right thing to do. The suffering is too much. The pain is almost intolerable, and we must bring this misery to an end. That is why we insist we maintain, we reaffirm dedicatedly every blessed day that Biafra is our religion. Here on Radio Biafra is where we worship, because Elohim is our God. I thank you very much for listening from the bottom of my heart, I assure you. And from me, from here, it is good evening.